All right, today we're going to journey back in time, back to a spiritual and intellectual golden age that once flourished in ancient Kashmir.
Between the 8th and 12th centuries, this incredible valley, it was so much more than just beautiful mountains. It was the heart of an extraordinary renaissance, a rebirth of thought built on one of Hinduism's deepest philosophical traditions.
So what was driving this golden age? Well, it was a unique and really powerful philosophy that came to define the entire region, Kashmiri's Shaivism.
Okay, so at its very heart is this idea that is, honestly, it's pretty mind-blowing. It's called non-dualism. And what it says is that you, your individual soul, are never truly separate from the divine, ever. You've just kind of forgotten who you really are.
And this is what made this philosophy so radical back then. See, a lot of other spiritual paths viewed the world as, an illusion you needed to escape from. But Kashmiri Shaivism, totally different. It celebrated the world. Every single thing you experience, the good, the bad, was seen as a direct expression of divine energy. It's all Shiva's joyful, cosmic dance.
So you might be wondering, how did they actually experience this unity? Well, it was through this amazing concept called spanda. Think of it like a divine throb or a vibration, this subtle, constant pulse that brings everything in the universe to life.
And this quote just nails it, right? It shows how a really big, abstract idea becomes something real, something you can feel in your bones. It wasn't just a textbook theory. You could literally sit by a river, feel its rhythm, match your breath to it, and that simple act, that was a profound meditation. You were plugging directly into the rhythm of the universe.
Now, what's so fascinating is that this philosophy didn't just stay cooped up in the world of spirituality. Nope, it kicked off an incredible renaissance in scholarship and learning that turned Kashmir into a true beacon of knowledge for the whole world. It really started with what were believed to be divine revelations, like the Shiva Sutras. And from that spark, a whole lineage of absolutely brilliant masters built on these ideas for centuries. It was this amazing intellectual ecosystem, with each thinker adding new layers and new insights, all leading up to the genius of Abhinavagupta, who kind of synthesized the whole thing. And we're not just talking about abstract philosophy here. I mean, these Kashmiri scholars were making groundbreaking contributions in so many fields. We're talking history, spiritual practice, even science, and they wrote it all down, preserving it so carefully on these special birch bark manuscripts.
And look, this reputation for genius, this wasn't just local pride talking. It was known far and wide. You even had this visiting Persian scholar, al-Biruni, who was traveling with invading armies, and even he had to stop and write about how amazed he was by the Kashmiri Brahmins' knowledge. He said their learning was just unmatched. But here's the crucial thing to understand. These incredibly deep ideas weren't just for scholars locked away in some monastery. Not at all. They were lived, and they were breathed by ordinary people every single day.
The entire landscape of Kashmir was basically a sacred map. You had these architectural marvels, like the Martan Sun Temple. You had legendary temple universities like Sharada Peeth. And then you had incredible natural wonders like the Amarnath Cave and these holy springs. All of them were these buzzing hubs where faith, learning, and community just all came together.
I mean, look at this. Spirituality was so practical, so personal. It was woven right into family life, into daily rituals. It gave power to everyone, from the person just trying to manage their household all the way to the women, who, by the way, played a huge role in passing down all this sacred knowledge.
But, this vibrant world wasn't some isolated paradise, cut off from everything. And like any golden age, its own brilliance started to cast some long shadows, hinting at the really tough challenges that were just over the horizon.
So, could it really last forever? Well, that's stability, the very thing that let this incredible culture thrive. It was about to be seriously tested. And the challenges were coming from everywhere, from inside, with fierce debates, and from the outside world.
On the inside, you had these intense debates, especially with the region's strong Buddhist traditions, and that actually made their own philosophy even sharper. And then, from the outside, you had new ideas starting to trickle in with traders and travelers, including the first encounters with Islam, which slowly began to shift the whole cultural landscape.
All of this incredible intellectual and spiritual strength, it gave the Kashmiri Pandits a unique kind of armor. But that armor, which was forged in a time of light and learning, was about to face its greatest tests yet. And it really leaves us with a critical question, doesn't it?